Hello, everyone. I'm ZHAO Chuang. Today, we are going to draw the trunk of Torosaurus. The trunk of Torosaurus was very strong and generally round. Its shoulders were narrow and the rear part of its trunk was wide. This was one feature of its trunk. Its trunk was very short. If you measure the distance from its shoulders to the front of its pelvis, you would find that the length of its front half is the same as the width of the thigh. That was the inherent structure of the trunk of ceratopsians. As an herbivore, it had a big belly. Based on Triceratops, its close relative, we can restore the look of its skin. Triceratops, as its close relative, could serve as a good reference. Now let's draw the trunk of Torosaurus. The trunk of Torosaurus looked similar to that of most ceratopsians. Its trunk was very short, but it has a huge pelvis. Before we draw its trunk, let's know something about its internal structure. First of all, behind its head, seen from this angle, this position is the joint connecting its neck. Therefore, the bones of its neck are linked here. Next, let's draw the dorsal vertebrae at its back. Behind the dorsal vertebrae, there is a long sacrum, on both sides of which is the large ilium, forming its long pelvis. Its thigh joints are connected here. There are two scapulae in the front. Connecting its coracoid downward. This is the coracoid on the other side, curved inward like this. Its scapulae and coracoids wrap the ribs inside to form a rib cage, and those constitute a skeletal structure of its trunk. Its legs are connected here. After having an idea of its inner structure, we can easily judge the appearance of its trunk observed from this angle. In addition, we need to draw the distribution of its muscles. Let's draw a set of muscles to connect its neck and the front of its scapulae. That is an important set of muscles on the outside below its neck. Next, let's draw a few sets of muscles on the dorsal side of its spine and its back to streamline its back. Then let's draw a set of triangle muscle from the front of its scapulae to its neck, and a set of triangle muscle from the back of its scapulae to its back. This is the outline of its trunk. We can draw this hind limb moving backward, and this forelimb moving forward to form the general structures of its trunk. After knowing these structures, we can add details to make these bones and muscles have skin on them. First, let's draw the shoulders. We can't show the highest point of shoulders very clearly, because it is wrapped by thick skin, and we can only see a simple mark. Downward and forward, let's draw muscles on its neck. Next, let's draw the outline of its back. This is the outline of its pelvis. We can draw some folds between the front end of its pelvis and ribs. We can draw two sets of strong muscles on its upper back. and some muscles on both sides of its neck. Between the two sets of muscles on both sides, the part connecting its head is its throat. We can draw a plump throat. Many ceratopsians had such banded scales below the neck. Let's draw some folds at the root of its neck, surrounding its shoulders. The position of its coracoid becomes the outline of its chest. Next, let's draw its shoulders. At the end of its scapula, there is a giant piece of triangle muscle, forming the first half of its shoulder. Let's draw its triceps protruding backward. Here, we can draw some folds formed on the skin on both sides of its trunk. A new view is that its thighs, and both sides of its trunk might have skin wrapped just like chicken thighs, similar to many birds or some mammals today. Dinosaurs were not good at moving their legs forward, but moving their legs backward, so the skin here might be sticky. We generally accept that view. Let's draw a few set of strong muscles on the outside of its thigh to make it triangular shaped. Although no skin fossil of Torosaurus has been found, as it is closely related to Triceratops, we can draw some large scales on its trunk by referring to Triceratops. There were very large scales on the trunk of Triceratops. Between these large scales, there were larger ones, evenly distributed in each part of its trunk, so we mainly draw these larger ones. Let's draw a small protrusion in the middle of these large scales. At last, we draw the folds below its neck clearer. Good, like this, we've finished drawing the trunk of Torosaurus.